Hello my lovelies, happy Monday and welcome to another crafting week. So I promised you I would I would finish off my roundy thingies. So in my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery I had some roundy thingies, some embellishments like flower embellishments, and it got a really raised centre and people asked me to show you how to do it. And then I started off doing it the other week, didn't I? And I broke more needles and I hadn't got a thick enough needle, and hence it's been a bit of a delay. But never mind, we're here now. Okay, so just a little bit of useful information first about setting up your machine ready for free machine stitching. So there's a lot going on in the YouTube community at the moment, the YouTube crafting community. There are some different collabs going on where they're called fast flow stitching. So for the purpose of the collaboration, Joey Diffie and Louise Heisel and others, and they're calling it fast flow stitching. Now I am sort of going a little bit beyond that with free machine embroidery. So they are, a lot of the time they are stitching very fast, generally in a circle or up and down. Now if you really want to then advance that a step, then you go on to your free machine embroidery, free machine stitching. Now most machines can do it. Don't be put off thinking you've only got a small cheap machine and there isn't a lever. So at the back of here there's a lever to be able to raise my feed dogs. The feed dogs are these grippy metal things that move your fabric along. Now to do free machine stitching, free machine embroidery, free machine quilting, you move your feed dogs down so that there's nothing coming up from the bottom to grab your fabric, because that will stop your free flow. You don't want anything that's going to be grabby. So you lower your feed dogs. Now for machines that don't have this little switch, majority of modern machines now, and I've got a cheap Janome which was under £100, and it hasn't got all the bells and whistles this brother has, but you will find in your tools, your bag of tools, and actually, sorry I'm stretching, let me see, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, so here you will find this little plastic platey thingy, and you think, what the heck's that for? And on mine it says front, even says front on. I couldn't quite work out what it was for, you know. But this is for those of you that can't drop your feed dogs, but it enables you to put this little plastic plate. You can see now it makes sense when you know. This is where your feed dogs will be, and it stops them coming up and down and gripping your fabric. So majority of people, even with, you know, inexpensive sewing machines generally, will come with a plate like this, unless it's really, really old, and that still enables you to do the free motion. That's important, because otherwise you end up with a rat's nest. The other thing to do is set your stitch size to 0, and I have done this in previous videos, but it's good to have a recap and for anybody new. Stitch size to 0. The idea behind your free flow machining is that you regulate the size of your stitch, with how fast or how slow you yourself move your fabric. Okay, now on here I don't have a presser foot on here, and yeah, it's taken a lot of fiddling for me to then use this without a presser foot. So really I ought to have got my Janome out, put the plate on and done it with that. So the golden rules: set your stitch to 0 and it's fast on your presser foot or fast on your machine. So here I've got a slider that puts it up to very fast, the fastest it will go. And you press down on your presser foot, the fastest. You can have your foot right down to the floor when you're driving, right down to the floor, and you alternate, you affect how your stitches, the size of your stitches, by moving your fabric slowly. So stitch at naught, fast on the foot petals, slow on the hands. If you remember that, you won't go far wrong. It's a lot harder than it looks when you're doing it actually, you know, when you've got no feed dogs and you are in control. It takes a bit of practice, but it's great for filling in, things. I've done just, I was working on earlier, I'll just quickly show you this, and I've made it, this is some collaging. This is one of Rachel's images from her Australiana, and you start filling in flowers. You can do it with all colours, and it gives a really good effect. So let's get to our roundy thingies. Now the other important thing you have to remember when you're doing this is that both threads have to be on top. So generally speaking, when you're sewing, we have the thread that goes through our needle, and we have the thread underneath that comes out from our shuttlecock shuttle tension. Now when you're doing free motion stitching, they both have to be on top. Otherwise you end up with a right rat's nest. You end up with a load of thread getting caught underneath, and it's a total mess. So what you do basically is you lower your needle into the fabric like you do when you are pulling your shuttle thread up. Press it to come up, and then you pull. You will have then both threads, as you can see here, the top and bottom thread, needle and shuttle, are through the top of the fabric. Now I've left a tail, but soon you can just cut that off. Okay, so here we go. So it's on full, stitch to naught. That is going very fast, can you see? But I am moving it very slow. Do a few roundies or whatever you want to do. Cut that thread off. And there we go. Then you can see your back is as neat as your front, because you've got both of them through. Okay. Now, so if you want more of a raised look, you can keep machining round and round and round and round until you get that raised texture how you want with your thread. Now the other thing that you could do is, and we're here with one of my, remember I made loads of, in the first video, loads of roundy thingies. You make your raised up thing with some fabric. So I've folded some fabric up, I've put it in the middle, and we're going to go round that. Now the other thing you need to know, which I didn't mention earlier, I've got this springy free motion presser foot. So if you look in your stash of presser feet, you will find one that looks like a horseshoe, open toe. It's an open toed horseshoe, and that is your presser foot for fast flow free machining. It's also very nice. Mine has got a little bit of a, see there, a spring, so that you can get your thick material underneath it. You see, if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be able to get your thick layers through it. Okay, so I need my thread from the needle. Okay, so we've got our thread here, not our thread, but our thread It's gone round the back just to be awkward. Come here, that's it. They always play up, don't they, when you're on camera? Yeah. So we normally take that to the back. Oh, do you know, I'm going to unthread it and rethread it. It's easier. Silly thing. Okay, so we're threading our needle up. I still prefer to do it myself, even though it's got a needle threader. Okay. Thread your needle. Hold on to your needle. Thread, because we've got to pull our, put that down, we've got to pull our bobbin thread up. So down, in, give it a little tug and you'll be able to see your loop like you do normally of your bobbin thread, and there you go. So you've got both, can you see that? Both your threads are on top of your machine. And just remember those easy rules: thread stitch on knot, fast on the pedal, slow on the hands, both threads on top of your piece of work, and you won't go far wrong with that. So put that down, and apologise for the noise. I'm going to slow it down just a bit, just to stop it being so noisy for you. Okay, and we are going to slowly go round till it's in place. And turn it. Okay. You don't have to turn. It's easier now because you haven't got any feed dogs underneath. It's very easy to turn around in a circle. You can do it when you don't put your feed dogs down, but you know, you can get all trapped more often than not. Now the other thing is you can move this wherever you want. So once you are doing the free machining, free stitching, you can move this left, right, diagonal, anything. Okay. So I'm doing some roundy stitches, not going in the middle. You can go left and right, up and down. Just got that a bit fast in there, so let's undo it. Okay. You might find that to start with, you know, it's a bit tricky because you've got sticky outer bits. You might just make sure that they're not trapped under your needle there. Okay, now then, thread's caught on there, so I'm just gonna so can you see it's starting to get raised up there? So basically you just carry on until you've got it as raised as you want it. Now you can leave it like that if you want, and just leave it with just a little bit of a raised look, or you can carry on with it. So we'll do a bit more to it. Put that underneath. Again, we've got our stitch holding on. Lower the needle raise the needle, pull gently till you get your loop from your shuttle, pull it through to the top, and there you have it. You've got your stitches on top. Okay, so just do a few stitches till you see you are controlling. You only need to go slow. You are controlling where your threads are. Okay, so just moving it about, just around. It just takes a bit of practice to get it neat, but remember, fast on your foot. See how slow I'm moving it. If you want really long stitches, you can do this fast as well, but you don't, generally speaking, for a normal stitch. There we go. That's all there is to it, she says. Please don't do it. Some people think, right, I haven't got one of these presser feet, I won't have I'll do it without. Don't do that. You'll end up with a finger through your finger. Yes, you'll end up with that great big needle right through your finger and do some really nasty damage. So don't do it. If you haven't got the presser foot for it, at least put, you know, something on one of your presser feet. But generally speaking, you should have one that at least got the spring on and around. Okay then, so any questions about that, please feel free to ask in the comments below. It does take a bit of taking in, but once you remember the basic principles, stitch on nought, fast on the foot pedal, slow with your hands, both threads on top, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. There we have it. See you next video. Bye for now.